Hi, my name is Brian Chase. I'm the senior partner and senior trial attorney here at Bisnar Chase. So I represented Ricardo Santos, who was a husband and a father of four, who worked as a security guard for an armored car company. So during the course of his job one day, he was driving down the freeway and another vehicle lost control, crashed into the armored car, which then caused the armored car to crash into a cement abutment. During the course of that accident sequence, his seatbelt tore, allowed him to become unrestrained or unseatbelted, and he slammed into the front of the vehicle or the front windshield, and then got ejected from the car. So what happened to Ricardo was he suffered a brain injury. When he slammed into the front windshield of his vehicle, he fractured both his left and right orbital areas, and then he suffered a coup contre coup injury with damage to the left side of his frontal lobe and a couple areas where he had a subarachnoid hemorrhage, which early on affected his speech, mobility to some extent, and he had to work from there. So when we got the case, we had some struggles at first because the defendant, the initial defendants didn't have insurance, so we didn't know who we were going to go after. The car that caused the accident was easy, but they had a minimal policy, so we had to find a responsible party. We ultimately found out that about 20 years ago, there was a company that modified this vehicle, and even though they were no longer in business, there was still an insurance policy at play. So it took like 3 years and several depositions to go back in time and recreate the chain of custody of this vehicle. You know, the main obstacles in these kinds of cases is, you know, you're always going to have more than one person to blame. You know, as far as the way we looked at the case, the cause of Ricardo's injuries were a defectively designed vehicle that was modified and had no shoulder belt, had a seat belt that was run over a metal bracket, which allowed it to tear and him to become unbelted. But we also had to deal with, there was another car on the freeway that was driving carelessly that slammed into him and caused him to get in the accident. So really the challenge was to uncover enough dirt on the defendant to have a jury be angry and upset with that defendant and try to get more responsibility or liability apportioned out to them versus the car that caused the accident. So it was kind of your classic cause of accident versus cause of injury analysis, which is in a lot of these types of cases. So I needed to use DK Global in this case because Ricardo Santos did not look injured. He suffered a very serious brain injury, but if you talked to him, you would not know that. And so I was concerned that a jury would look at him and say, well, he's not that hurt. So I knew by getting the animation from DK Global, we would be able to show the jury the coup contre coup injury and show the brain going back and forth inside Ricardo's skull. They had the MRI films and CT scans edited in to show the various areas where he had subdural hematomas. They were able to demonstrate the frontal orbital fractures, and it was just a way to, as opposed to me telling a jury, this man is really hurt, because if you look at him, he's not. And you never know when a jury's going to trust you or not trust you. I knew having that visual from DK Global would allow me to let the jury know this guy suffered a very, very serious injury. So ultimately, we were knee-deep in expert discovery, and the defendants wanted to go to a mediation. So we had a mediation right before trial, but we were almost completed with expert discovery. During the course of that mediation, we were able to show the defense that we had this animation to depict this injury. Now, they knew that he was seriously hurt, but it does a couple things. I always like to have those types of things at a mediation, because then the other side knows you're serious. One, they just know you're going to take the time, energy, and resources to put into the case. So I like it for that alone. Two, when you have really good work product that's done, it lets them realize, or the adjuster that's in the room realize, the lawyer may not appreciate it, but the adjuster certainly will. Uh-oh, you know, I didn't realize this guy was that hurt. He looked fine in his deposition, but I'm looking at these animations and he looks like he got really hurt. So when you use those things in mediation, I think they're a great tool to let the other side know, to send a message you're serious, you've got the resources to do the case, and you know how to try a case and how to put on a case where someone does not look hurt, but you're going to be able to show a jury they are significantly injured. But ultimately we resolved the case about a week before trial. It's a confidential settlement, but I can say that it was a significant settlement, and Ricardo is set up for life. We'll never have to work again and be able to take care of his wife and his kids, and he's fully and adequately compensated. I'd like to thank DK Global for, I know we did a lot of this, and I'd like your viewers to know, or whoever watches it, at the last minute. You know, we're getting ready for mediation. I said, hey, you know, I need to have this thing, trial's coming up. On a moment's notice, DK Global was here. They were working with our experts, working with me, working with Gavin Long in my office, and I just appreciate the quality of the work, the timeliness of it getting done, and I've never had admissibility problems.